Welcome to the Super Bowl recap on TYT Sports. I'm Ben Mankiewicz, everybody. This is brought to you by the Vizio P-Series 4K Ultra HD Smart TVs. Cenk Uygur, J.R. Jackson are here as well. Well, that was a nice game.
Oh, what an unbelievable game. And I'm so glad I watched it on a Vizio, so I saw everything really clear.
By the way, it was a great picture.
No, it was.
It was a great picture.
Phenomenal.
We had a lot of people here.
Right.
I mean, a game that looked like the Patriots were in control of it, although you know that that's a crazy thing to think when you're playing the Seahawks. But that touchdown drive to go up 14-7 in the pass to Gronkowski and then giving the ball to the Seahawks fairly deep in their own territory with 40-some-odd seconds to play. And the Seahawks ran. I mean, if they get stopped and get 2 yards there, that first half probably ends 14-7.
They're going to take a knee. If Robert Turbin gets 2 yards on that play, that half is over. They don't get the touchdown.
Right. Instead, he breaks through. He gets big yards. They're out past the 40, and they're like,
we're moving.
All right, let's
see what happens.
Let's call timeout and try and kick a field goal. And then not only do they not kick a field goal, they score a touchdown. That tells you so much about Pete Carroll as a coach and the Seahawks as a team. And then I got scared that the Patriots were going to lose that game because you knew the Seahawks were going to get the ball first.
Well, my guess is you got more scared in the third quarter.
Yeah. They get the ball, they go down, they score, they kick a field goal, huge stop by the Patriots, 17-14, turns into 24-14. You asked me during a commercial break, you think Brady has it in him, the comeback in him, and I thought, no, I don't. I mean, I can't say I'm stunned, but I did not think that it was going to happen against this defense because I thought even if they got 2 touchdowns, the way the Seahawks are moving the ball, they'll score again too.
Turns out they were moving the ball.
They were moving the ball well. So that all sets up to, it's almost crazy to talk about this game, anything that happened in the first 59 minutes and 34 seconds.
Yeah, but I really, really disagree with that. So the enormous weight of public opinion is on your side, Ben, right? That everything comes down to the last play, right? And that play is going to be talked about forever, and it is one of the most consequential plays in Super Bowl history, arguably the most consequential play in Super Bowl history. So there's a very, very good reason behind that. At the same time, it was such a wonderful game played by 2 champions, And, I wrote that on social media. So they can't both be champions. Okay. First of all, they are. The Patriots already have 3 Super Bowls. Seahawks are the reigning Super Bowl champions.
Russell Wilson is a loser.
And then somebody said it on Twitter, for Christ's sake, they said, is Russell Wilson the new Peyton Manning? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? The guy's been nothing but gold his entire career. And he's been clutch performance after clutch performance, 1 bad pass, and all of a sudden he's a choker like the loser Peyton Manning.
And let's be a little fair about that pass. 1 imprecise pass, not a terrible pass, because we will all acknowledge, and everyone needs to acknowledge, that was an unbelievable play.
He jumped the route. Even when he did it, he has to still, as he took the ball, knock the receiver out of the way. So the receiver had a hand towards it. Yep. It wasn't a bad pass. It was a great defensive play.
It was the wrong pass, though, and I think we'll get into that because that pass needs to be, as NFL guys will tell you, it needs to be low. It needs to be at the hip so that only Lockette can catch it. Almost your worst case scenario, it hits off his hip, bounces up in the air, Patriots intercept. That's the danger of throwing the ball. But mostly, Lockette probably catches it, either scores or gets hit and stopped at the 1. But it probably doesn't get picked. Butler cannot make that interception on a ball thrown low. He can't get inside to make that pick. He can hit it. So keeping that in mind, look at this, because the New York Times did a really, really interesting thing. And we're going to be able to see how that play looked to everybody. First, this is the screenshot, and there is Wilson about to release it. That's what he sees. It is totally reasonable that Russell Wilson is not even aware of Malcolm Butler's existence.
Yes, absolutely. It's a great picture.
Now, that picture is also a beat late. Butler has already taken that step forward. So when Wilson makes the decision to throw that ball, he's still even a step back. And that play looks like it's going to work, and it looks like pass interference, by the way. I mean, it looks like offensive, what could easily have been called on the Patriots by the Seahawks of the pick play. So there's Wilson's perspective right there. And Butler, again, it looks like that play, in their perspective, is going to work. I love that shot because that also makes me believe, how do you ever complete a pass through those guys? It's amazing.
Especially a 5'10", he's 5'11", Russell Wilson. He talks about how the
Right.
see over
Another
line.
reason why, although, as I just said, that ball's supposed to be down and toward the hip, not the easiest thing in the world to do in that situation is get that ball down and toward the hip. All right, keep going. Let's take a look at the next shot. This is how it looks for Ryan Lockette. He sees it. He's not worried about Butler. He's seeing the block that Curse is making, which, by the way, could easily have been called a pick. It's been called a pick or not called.
They've talked about how that play, just like I think John Madden back in the day said, you can call holding on every play in the NFL. And every team does this type of play near the goal line. There's a pick play. And sometimes they call it and sometimes they don't.
Well, the referees have been told to emphasize that
Right.
this year. They did. We saw the Patriots called on one that seemed far less egregious on a screen pass to Vereen on their go-ahead touchdown drive that was later negated when on the next play Brady hit Gronkowski for a big gain in the first down anyway.
So that play is a touchdown on 95% of the
Russell
time that
Wilson's
they run.
place, yeah.
Yeah. So Russell Wilson sees Lockett cutting in. He's wide open. Butler's almost hiding behind the pick play, right? He's not intentionally so, but that's the effect of it. And I'm going to be one of the rare people who defends the play to some degree in terms of the call on that play. But Butler, I have now read into it, said that he studied, and God, this is such a great example for all the kids out there. He studied the tape over and over and over again. And as soon as they lined up, he said, this is a two-receiver set that they run where they throw to the guy cutting across the middle. I'm going to step in. It's my only chance at a pick to save this game.
And he also said, and he saw Wilson. His eyes looked, and he thought, this is it. This is where they're going. So he knew it. But even if you see Wilson, you don't know it unless you've studied.
There's no way you know it unless you've studied the tape over and over. That's hard work. This guy's undrafted, okay?
Yeah, and that's another thing about the NFL's process and how these guys, and I mean, the draft, the personnel directors do an amazing job, but there are certain things they can't get. And this is also why they care so much about smarts. You know, nobody figured out that undrafted Malcolm Butler was going to be the guy to sit and watch that tape and learn. And he did. Let's look at the next shot because I think we have the shot. The last one is from, and that's what Malcolm Butler saw.
Oh, Malcolm Butler saw it.
Yeah.
I can't believe this is about to happen.
But of course, I think his first thing is, I'm going to knock this down. You know?
No, but
He kinda went after the ball.
He said I went for the pick.
Yeah.
Because he's got to get the pick.
Right.
He knows
They've
that they're
got
at the half
2 more
yard.
downs.
Yeah.
I loved his reaction after the pick because there's a degree of, do I stay in the end zone? Do I not stay in the end zone? His teammates are like, just go, just fall down, man.
Yeah.
Who cares?
Sit down. Yeah, we're good.
Yeah.
Anyway, the New York Times ran those and I thought they were really, really revelatory and really interesting.
Yeah. So now, it's such a shame that 99% of the game that was so wonderful is now thrown away. I mean, the curse catch right before was the hand of God catch.
We
right?
were just wondering, did this just outdo the previous time the Patriots got stunned in the Super Bowl with the David Tyree catch on his side of his head?
Yeah.
So it was
Already forgotten.
It was the immediate argument, at least in the room where we were. So like, okay, which one is best? And it's almost a secondary thought. Oh, this game is over. Now how about that catch? You know?
I'm gonna declare the Tyree catch still better.
Me too.
Because Curse went down and had no idea where the ball was. Tyree always knew where the ball was. Curse went down, his head hit the grass hard, he's looking straight up, and then all of a sudden, as he starts to literally come to, he's like, well, that's the ball. It's probably already hit the ground.
I might as well collect
but there's no harm in me grabbing it.
It wasn't a hard collection of the ball.
It wasn't a hard thing.
There wasn't a grown man pulling him backwards.
Right. That's why it's the hand of God catch.
Right, that's right.
Because God literally put it in his lap. No, but that's why I was against the Seahawks and for the Patriots. For what happened on the very last play. Because after the comeback against Green Bay, they thought they were the team of destiny. Whether you put the God thing into it with Russell Wilson saying, oh, God gave him the 4 interceptions so he could then come back and win it. It's whatever. It doesn't matter. What matters is the mindset, right? Mm-hmm. And so the curse catch adds to that mindset. It doesn't matter what we do. It doesn't matter if we run. It doesn't matter if we throw. We're the team of destiny. We're going to win.
Did you see Pompous? I didn't see much of a, oh, this is over type of nature. I feel like they were still in business mode. It's like they thought the game was over. I mean, Green Bay thought the game was over when they had their pick and sat on the ground instead of advancing the ball.
No, don't get me wrong. It's not that they weren't aggressive enough. Like Green Bay, they thought they had the game won and just tried to run the clock out. I didn't see any of that with Seattle. It's a different kind of mindset. The mindset of confidence gone a shade too far. You see what I'm saying? They need all that confidence to be the great team that Seattle is. But I thought that after the Green Bay game that they had crossed the line from confident to cocky, and then at the end, when they should have been a little bit more careful and run the ball, they crossed that line and it cost them. But
so let's get into that decision. First of all, a couple of reactions. Darrell Bevell, the well-respected offensive coordinator of the Seattle Seahawks, did not stand by his wide receiver Ryan Lockette, although what he said is probably true. Here's a tweet from Bob Condata, but about what Darrell Bevell says. Darrell Bevell says Ryan Lockette could have been stronger to the ball. It's true.
Don't
but
say that.
I see JR as soon as he read that going like, oh, come on.
Yeah, I mean, stronger to the ball, you mean getting run into by the intercepting defender.
Right.
I don't know how much stronger you can get to the ball. If you get knocked over because you're going for the ball and two guys collide, what are you supposed to do?
So
And besides which, you don't blame your player like that.
I read that can you imagine Des Bryant or Calvin Johnson or Rob Gronkowski or Terrell Owens, like these big game, clutch money receivers, making that same mistake? And I'm like, no. But Ryan Lockette is Ryan Lockette.
You knew you had Ryan Lockette. You knew that you didn't have Gronkowski on your team.
Right. So you got this is what we've talked about. You have said more so than even I. Like, their receivers aren't that good. I mean,
are we buying into the fact that Lockette should have done something else besides run the route and go for the ball like he did?
No, you're right.
Should he have 60 more pounds on him? That's
what I'm saying. Ryan Lockette is the USA Today did a great piece on this. Like, Ryan Lockette is Ryan Lockette. Like, he can only be as strong as Ryan Lockette is.
Okay.
And no, I think that Terrell Owens and Rob Gronkowski and Des Bryant would have made that catch. But they don't have. They don't have 32 NFL career receptions. They're different guys.
No, it's wrong in every way. I don't think he would have made the catch. I think Butler had the best angle. I think that they know they're throwing to Lockette, not Des Bryant. And then third of all, you don't throw your player under a bus when you made the wrong call. Okay, I mean, in a lot of ways, I defend the Seahawks because I think, they get to be in a position to make that play because they've had such a great game and such a great season. So to blame the Seahawks, to blame the coach, is a little unfair because they're the guys who took those chances to get him to that point. Pete Carroll is the guy who took the chances so that they could score at the end of the second half. So when he takes a chance and then you blame him for it, I feel a little upset. But then when the offensive coordinator turns around and blames his player, oh, hell no.
Yeah.
You guys made the call and it was the wrong call.
Let's
live with that.
Ricardo Lockette. By the way, we keep calling him Ryan Lockette, the swimmer, but of course it's Ricardo Lockette.
And speaking of Ricardo Lockette, I was looking him up. He's 6'2", 211. I'm 6 foot even, 212, 13.
6'2", 211. He's tiny.
So he's 2 inches taller than me and weighs roughly 3 to 4 pounds less than me.
You would have made that catch.
I would have got knocked to the side the same way.
I'm with you. I just think that, like, you can't, maybe some guys would have made the catch, but you didn't throw to one of those guys, and he can only be who he is. And I think that's critical in understanding your personnel. Pete Carroll, on the other hand, had this to say. Pete Carroll throws nobody under the bus except Pete Carroll. Unfortunately, with the play that we tried to execute, the guy makes a great play. I think that's the most critical point. Jumps in front of the route, makes an incredible play that nobody would ever think he could do. And unfortunately, says Carroll, that changes the whole outcome. And there, I think he means his team. And they're on the precipice of winning another championship, and unfortunately, the play goes the other way. There's really nobody to blame but me. I told them that clearly, and I don't want them to think anything other than that.
Well, they've listened to him because there are now a couple players out there throwing Pete Carroll and the play calling under the bus. They're saying that, hey, man, we had the guy who's the number one running back in these kind of situations, best running back on the planet, one of the linebackers said, and we should have used him. So even Doug Baldwin, who's a receiver, said he was surprised that they didn't run.
Let me give you a couple of things. Tweets from around the NFL. Golden Tate, if I'm Marshawn, I'm livid. CJ Spiller, wow, you have the best back and you throw the ball. Jonathan Stewart, wow, why not let Money Lynch win the game? Alfred Morris, wow, gotta feed beast mode. Emmitt Smith, that was the worst play call I've seen in the history of football.
Wow.
He had a lot of money
Davis, on it. Both great game by both organizations. Still a little lost on the goal line, though. Gerald McCoy of the Buccaneers. Marshawn Lynch. Why have the beast mode if you're not going to use him with a half a yard? Bad call. And then this one I like, Sidney Rice. 2nd and goal from the 1-yard line, 1 timeout, and beast mode in the backfield. I would not have thrown that ball to Jerry Rice.
Okay, and then that's a lot of clout. These are current players, former players. I always like listening to those guys, and it makes sense. Marshawn Lynch, his response. Were you surprised that you didn't get the ball? No. He said they pressed him further because the reporters want to get him to say, yeah, I was mad. Went on to say, because football is a team sport. You love Marshawn Lynch. And the thing is, I think he meant it. He's not just saying it for the right reasons or because it's the thing to say that makes you feel good and not be the one to throw your coach under the bus. Of course he wanted the ball. And then when he didn't get it, he said, that's what we do. And now if they had scored, would they say, hey, Marshawn, are you upset that you didn't get that ball and you still won the Super Bowl? No, he wouldn't have been saying
What was his answer?
No, it's football is a team sport. He wasn't surprised that he didn't get the ball.
That sounds like a $50,000 fine.
All right, last thing is Pete Carroll, now with 2 of the worst calls in football history. The running of LenDale White against Texas when the national championship was on the line. Reggie Bush was not even on the field.
Best player in college football.
Best player by a long distance in college football, not even on the field. And now not running the best short yardage running back in the league when you're at the half-yard line. Okay, that being said, he's also the coach that got him there. That's right. He's also the coach that scored with 40 seconds left to play in the second half when 90% of coaches would have taken a knee, and you know it. So he's known for taking chances. He took the wrong chance there, but don't take away everything else that Pete Carroll has done in his career this season and in that game because of that one call.
And of course, the kid from the University of West Alabama made a play. You're always, those West Alabama kids are always. So, but real quick, that's exactly right. A great coach who made the wrong call at the wrong time. Bill Belichick also made, to me, an egregiously wrong call at the wrong time. And the same thing, he's the guy who gets the Patriots there. He makes the right call and goes for it all the time. Not calling a timeout. Look, he got bailed out by Malcolm Butler, who made an unbelievable play. But that was the wrong call at that time because you call a timeout with a minute to play. They have 1 timeout. They have 3 downs. There is every chance in the world that you were then going to have 50 seconds left. They're most likely going to score. And that means you are going to have 45 or 50 seconds left, and Tom Brady and Steven Gostkowski, and all you need is a field goal. But he didn't do it. And as it happened, the Seahawks let a tremendous amount of time go off, and they felt, now in their explanation is they felt like then they had to throw on 2nd down so they could run it on 3rd, call timeout, and then do whatever the hell they wanted on 4th. It worked out, but Belichick, we saw 2 of the best coaches in the history of the NFL both make dumb decisions in the last minute, which just shows that guys like us sitting around here afterwards, it's a really hard job.
Yeah, no,
and even the best guys
we
make
can't keep
mistakes.
talking about the last play. I think the Patriots had a chance to go 14-0. I mean, Tom Brady threw 2 interceptions, the Super Bowl MVP and 4-time Super Bowl champion.
He's the
2
new Peyton
picks.
Manning.
Threw 1 in the end zone, remember? And we're like, oh, now this game is turned around. They could have been beginning to take this game early.
Yep.
No one said, I can't believe this loser threw 2 picks. Yeah. But he threw 2 picks. Big deal.
Coaches, they get to make some mistakes too. I just thought it was weird that 2 great coaches did it. Great Super Bowl, maybe the best Super Bowl ever. Certainly feels like it right now. Thanks for watching, everybody. Subscribe in the link below. Also follow us on Twitter. And look in the description below for details on the Vizio P-Series 4K Ultra HD Smart TVs. And we're going to leave you. We were all watching on a big Vizio TV yesterday on TYT Live. Here is all of our reaction. Must have been 40, 50 people in the room. Our reaction to the end of the game. Thanks for watching.
Yeah, put it in yourself.
Oh, yes! Yes! Yes!